in because everyone on X was saying, but look at her eyes are looking at the camera, not at Archie. They were looking at the camera. She was fake pretending to play with Archie.
They caught her, red-handed, on camera, with the whole world watching. But here's the sick part. Most people didn't notice what they were actually looking at. You already know what I'm about to say, don't you? You felt it. That little twist in your gut when you saw that picture. Something was off. The photograph shows a mother and her little boy. She's crouched down, her face close to his, mouth open like she's mid-giggle playing peekaboo. A classic sweet moment. Except it's not. Look at her eyes. Just look at them. Her eyes aren't on Archie. They're locked on the camera lens like a sniper finding their mark. Archie is in the foreground, but he's been told to stay out of the shot. Stay out of the shot, those exact words.
Yeah. Oh, it's really weird, isn't it? I had another photograph because everyone's talking about this. Now, the one on the left, of course, is Archie being told to stay out of Lily's shot, right? Stay out of the shot, right? And then it looked...
That little boy was being managed like a prop that wandered into the wrong frame. And Meghan? She's not being a mother there. She's performing. For us. For the grid. For the funnel. Now, I need you to stay with me here, because this goes so much deeper than one awkward photo. A journalist named Tom Sykes. And look, I know some of you hear the word journalist and you bristle, and rightly so. The legacy media has lied to us for decades. They protect the powerful and sneer at people like us who ask too many questions.
I have to say, very little has been done in the legacy media. It's all been done by people like Paula, people like Rachel, people like me who've tried to do some stuff on it. But
Michelle Mara's major too.
Yes, Michelle,
she's on
exactly,
Substack,
yeah.
Behind the Throne, yeah.
But it's interesting, isn't it, that it's not really coming from the legacy media.
But Tom isn't that. He's been blackballed by the palace press office, frozen out of those cozy briefings where the king's men hand out approved headlines like candy. He writes independently on his Substack, and what he broke down there is methodical. It's cold. And it exposes a truth that the glossy magazines will never print. He called it a funnel.
Putting these pictures, which people are seeing on their screen now, of them at Disneyland on her personal feed. And I did actually write about this. You know, in marketing, Shauna, you have this thing called a funnel, right? Now, in my case, for example, when I speak to my colleagues at the Daily Beast who spend their days looking at data metrics and stuff, they say, you have to build up your Instagram, Tom, because it's the funnel to your YouTube, right? If people come on your Instagram, then that's the funnel to get them to your YouTube. And your YouTube is the funnel to get them to your Substack, right? I'm giving away all my secrets here. But why I'm saying that is because these photos of the children that she released on her Instagram, her private Instagram, because the video was on the As Ever Instagram, the videos of her children are the funnel, right? Because there's 4.5 million people on her private Instagram. There's 850,000 on As Ever, but As Ever is linked to in the private one. So if you put these photographs of the children, as we know, there is interest in the children because she's built up this thing about do we or don't we know what they look like, this sort of slow reveal, this selling of their anonymity. And it was clearly the two releases came at almost instantaneously, and the goal was clearly to try and funnel 1 or 2% of the users who were clicking on the pictures of her children into As Ever. And of course there's another bit of the funnel, which is the As Ever website, where you can actually go and buy the stuff, because I think as it stands right now you can't actually buy the stuff off Instagram. So but that's a lot of, as the marketing folks would say, that's a lot of funnels.
That's a marketing term. It's the thing corporations use to turn eyeballs into dollars. Here's how it worked. Meghan has 2 Instagram accounts. Her personal one has 4.5 million followers. Her business account, As Ever, has just 850,000. The business was struggling. Nobody's rushing to buy $50 jam that looks like it was spooned by someone who'd never met a strawberry before.
When this all came out, and all I can think of, Tom, is a poor man's Nigella. Lawson with the did you see the jam dripping off the spoon? She even managed to make that look manky. Like, it just was not good. But also, well, it wasn't really just Nigella Lawson. It was also like a very wooden Nigella Lawson. But what was with the OnlyFans stroking of herself? Is that...
Now, there's an idea that would make some money, Shauna.
Yes, well, I thought maybe it was her promo video. I didn't know. But what's going on? I mean, look, the question, I've got a serious question. Anyone that was sober that saw that wouldn't have put it up. So what's going on? Does she need glasses?
Did you like the bit where she opens the cupboard door and there's like 10,000 pots of jam in the cupboard? Oh, that's where all the stock went.
So what do you do when your brand is circling the drain? You reach for the one thing that still gets clicks: your children. On the same day, almost the same hour, she dropped the As Ever promotional video with its awkward kitchen theatrics and its ball gown potato picking, and simultaneously she posted those Disneyland photos of Archie and Lily on her personal feed. The personal feed is the bait. The children are the bait. 4.5 million people scroll past a candid shot of a cute little girl hugging a princess, and their hearts soften. They double tap. And then the algorithm does its dirty work. Some small percentage of those people, Tom calculated maybe 1% to 2%, get curious enough to click through to As Ever. And from there, they're just one more click away from the website, where the real transaction happens. That's not parenting. That's a customer acquisition strategy. Archie and Lily aren't being documented, they're being deployed. And here's the thing, though. Actually, wait, let me rephrase that. This isn't even about conversion rates and click-through percentages. Those are just numbers. What's rotting at the center of this is the cold, transactional use of a child's face. A mother chose to turn her son into a thumbnail. That is the brutal reality. And we all saw it. We saw Archie being nudged out of frame while Lily was centered like a little product model. We saw Lily getting multiple special birthday cakes professionally shot, while Archie got a sunset. A sunset. Like an afterthought.
Your life out on social media. I mean, this is exactly why people, no, not for one moment.
Like a post scheduled for 2 a.m. when nobody's looking. I need you to pause for a moment. I'm gonna slow down here. Put down whatever else you're doing and just sit with this. Think about your own children, your grandkids, your nieces and nephews. Picture taking their most vulnerable, unguarded moments and attaching a price tag. Imagine calculating how many dollars their smile is worth before you hit post. That's not a mother snapping a quick photo because she's proud. That's a businesswoman running a silent auction. And the bid is your attention. Every like is a penny in the bank. Every share funds the Montecito mortgage. That's not love. That's liquidation. All right, I'm back. And now we go deeper. Because what Sykes uncovered isn't happening in a vacuum. The timing lines up almost perfectly with something else nobody wants to connect. Harry's brand is in freefall.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. YouGov, who's a big polling company in the UK, they probably have an operation in Australia, and I know they have operations in America. I was just looking at the most recent stats, and I noticed that in the last quarter, Harry's overall popularity had dropped like 12%, like 37 to 25 or something. But when you dug into it, it was really fascinating, because what Harry always used to have was he used to have really significant support amongst the young, right? Amongst the sort of 18 to 25 or what have you. He was about the same as William, about 55%.
YouGov numbers in the UK show his popularity dropped 12% in one quarter. Even among young people, the one demographic they always claimed as their firewall, his support has completely cratered. Australia pulled their government funding from Invictus. The sponsors are ghosting. The $60 million budget is a giant question mark. The money faucet is running dry. And when the money dries up, the grift accelerates. Meghan isn't just making jam, she's making the children the flagship product line. As Ever was never about lifestyle. It was always about leveraging the last remaining asset they control, the mystery of those kids.
Yeah, oh yeah, and it's a mess because she cannibalizes her own efforts. Like when she puts out something, she then immediately puts something over the top of it or something too close to something else, and that's called cannibalization, and it eats.
They built that mystery intentionally. The slow reveal, the careful cropping, the strategic anonymity. Then they sell it back to us, one photo at a time. Now here's where it gets really twisted. The Disneyland photographs show Lily hugging a princess, an actress in a polyester costume standing in front of a fake castle built in 2018. Meanwhile, that little girl has a real aunt, a real princess, one who actually changes children's lives, who built a global early childhood framework that's being taught in universities, who never ever parades her own kids in front of the cameras to sell something.
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was just, like you said, very warm. I loved it when she got out of the car and she got the huge cheer. The one thing about
Catherine doesn't need a funnel. She doesn't need to turn her children into walking advertisements. You know why? Because she has nothing to sell. She's not a brand. She's a public servant. And that contrast is so stark it almost hurts to look at. But the corporate press won't draw that comparison. They won't ask the hard questions. They're too terrified of being called racist, too terrified of losing access. So they stay silent while a little boy learns, before he's even old enough to understand it, that his primary value to his own mother is measured in engagement metrics. Stay out of the shot, Archie. Lily's turn now. Lily's the star. Don't ruin the frame. I can't shake what Tom Sykes wrote. He said, and I'm quoting now,
oh gosh, I wrote on Substack, that boy is going to write one hell of a memoir. And I am here for it. Because I don't...
That boy is going to write one hell of a memoir, and I am here for it. You laugh, but it's not funny. Not really. Because children absorb this. They feel the differential treatment in their bones. Archie is already old enough to understand he's being excluded. He's old enough to notice that the camera loves his sister more. What do you think that does to a kid? What do you think it does when he realizes, years later, that all those pictures were part of a sales pipeline, that his childhood was a funnel, that his face was just bait for the As Eber launch? This is the part nobody talks about. The damage, the quiet, invisible damage being done in plain sight, while we all debate whether the jam looked appetizing or whether the video was a parody. It's not parody, it's a pattern.
And I think that it speaks to the whole danger of playing your life out on social media. I mean, this is exactly why people, and I'm not for one moment, like I know there's, we all have, big audiences, lots of whom, Shauna, have, their own monetized channels and their own. But I think if you are going to be in that momfluencer space, you need to be incredibly careful. And as I understand it, the people who do it really successfully in that space, it's controversial, even for the people who do it successfully. But it's incredibly controversial for, Meghan with her platform to be putting the kids front and center like this, because it does, frankly, if you look at those pictures, it does look like they regard Lily as more special and more important than...
The Oprah interview teased skin color speculation about Archie. The Netflix documentary sold Lilibet's first steps as premium content. Spare served up childhood trauma like a seasonal special. And now, the Instagram funnel. It's the same playbook over and over. Extract value from personal pain and tiny innocent faces. Package it as empowerment and cash the check before the public catches on. And look, I'm not saying there's no love there. I can't know what happens behind closed doors, but I can judge what I see. And what I see is a woman who looked past her own son to find the camera lens. What I see is a pattern of using children as props in a narrative that serves only one purpose: relevance. Monetized, commodified, platformed relevance. The hero in this story isn't me. It isn't even Tom Sykes, though he deserves credit for breaking the mechanics down when nobody else would. The real heroes are the people. You, who refuse to look away. The ones who zoomed in on the photo and said, wait a minute, her eyes are wrong. The ones on X who flagged it before the mainstream ever touched it. You already knew. You've known since the Oprah interview. since the staged pep walks, since the constant contradictions between the message of privacy and the relentless monetization of childhood. You felt it in your gut, and now the receipts are public. 4.5 million followers, 850,000. A funnel, a cold, calculated marketing textbook funnel. And 2 children caught in the middle of it. So I'm asking you, the people who've been paying attention all along, the people who trust their own eyes over the polished press releases, what is it going to take for these 2 to be held accountable? When does protecting children from this kind of exploitation become more important than celebrity gossip? When does a mother's responsibility to shield her kids outweigh her hunger for the spotlight? I don't have the answers.